but the number of people who are really connecting with you will grow because more people see the real you and you're not holding back anything. It's you speaking out about like what is important to you, what you believe in. And this way, you can change your entire world. Hi guys, this is Simbuin, and today I'm going to talk about why you should stop worrying what other people think of you. Now let's begin with why do we worry about what other people think in the first place. The reason is rooted in our biology. For millions of years, we have depended on strength in numbers, being part of a group, being part of a tribe. And this would be incredibly powerful for our survival, but also incredibly scary. Because what happened over time was that we are getting so used to this environment that we became helpless ourselves. So the biggest risk that we could face in our lifetime was to be kicked out of the tribe. If we offended everyone in the tribe, or especially those in power, we got kicked out, what would happen? We would be facing the wilderness all by ourselves. We would be without shelter, without food. We would have to face tigers and bears. There would be no survivor. And that's why it's so scary. That's why we're afraid of being rejected, because rejection is in its core principle that we might get kicked out of our tribe. So why is this still relevant today? This happened millions of years ago, right? No, that is only happening. Like for millions of years, we have lived this way. Our brains, our entire biology is wired that way. So only very recently, for the last, let's say 20,000 years, we actually have rapidly evolved. We have went from caveman lifestyle, from living in caves, from being exposed to the environment, from being threatened by animals in the wild. We have been grown rapidly from this to living in an urban environment just as this one here. Now the problem is that we are still in our biology thinking this might happen. This is basically like a fear hard-coded into our DNA. So and this part of our DNA is still reacting to this encoding. So what's happening? We are like just projecting on different people. There are still people in power who might kick us out. It might be our parents. This might be our school teacher who is sending us to detention. This might be our boss who is like kicking us out and firing us from us. This could be someone like a politician. This could be anyone in power, and we are still having this fear that there's a subconscious threat going on all the time. And most people try to play it safe to keep their spot, to make sure they're not getting kicked out, even though that's not a realistic option for most of us today. Now, how can we fix this? There's a very good chance that you can actually overcome this fear of being rejected. And the reason why that's happening is because our DNA is not cast in stone. It's actually very adaptable and it's programmable. And you can actually override your biological programming. Even though that's a natural survival mechanism that is coming to us when we are born, it can be replaced with something much better. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can replace your biological fear of being rejected, of worrying what other people think of you, with something completely new, so you don't worry about anything of that at all. I want to just start with telling you two examples from my own life that I overcame. When I was a little child, I was really scared of heights. I remember like one time I was like walking up this car park and it was like an outside metal staircase and you could look through the little metal grid on the floor and you could really look down like 100 meters deep. And I was like so scared. I was imagining I would fall through that. And for many years, I was really scared of heights. But at some point, I decided I want to overcome this. And I purposely exposed myself to looking down from great heights. And today, I'm not scared of it anymore at all. Now, the second story I want to tell you about like overcoming something that was like rooted in our DNA is my fear of cold showers. Now, I heard a lot about the benefits of having cold showers. Like reducing the blood pressure, getting more energetic in the morning. The first time I tried it, I basically died. It was like someone like sticking up knives into my skin, like millions of knives at the same time. But you know what happens? Your brain is hardwired to fear cold. What would happen in real life? Like if you fall into like a cold, icy river, you want to get out of that. You might die really quickly. So that's why we have this fear of cold. You might just be exposed to the wilderness and just die of cold. It's a real threat. Today we have all our jackets and pullovers and something, and almost nothing of this is happening anymore, but it's still there hardwired. But the thing is, what I did is I exposed myself to the cold. I did first 30 seconds of cold shower, and then next I did like a minute, then a minute and a half. And before you knew it, I could actually hold out for 30 minutes of cold showers. And the secret why both of this is working is because I'm exposing myself to positive reference experiences. Now, the key is you have to program your brain to show and to demonstrate that something that's perceived dangerous by your DNA is actually not life-threatening. And you can do this by exposing and creating positive reference experiences. Experiences that expose you to a fear, but then demonstrate to your brain you didn't die. So you can do this over and over again. You can actually create enough reference experiences that are strong enough to completely override your biological fears. So let's talk about the 5 steps how you can do this step by step. Okay, step number 1. Write down the list of all of your worries. Every scenario that you can think of being rejected. Being rejected if you approach someone like on the street asking them for their time. Asking your boss for a favor. Maybe to take off early because you want to go to a dentist appointment. Think of all the possibilities where you could get rejected. Asking your crush out for a date, asking someone for a favor, or even saying no to someone. That's also like a form of being worried about rejection. What if someone doesn't accept your no? What if they're angry at you? Think about all the scenarios that worry you and write them out on a piece of paper. Now, step number 2, create the worst case scenario for every situation. Think about the worst thing that you can imagine. Make it completely super ridiculous. What would happen if you did just that? What if the person slaps you in the face, spits on you, kicks you out? What is the worst thing that could happen? Write this down for every single situation. Now, step number 3. Now I want you to think about this. How realistic is that? How realistic is that it's going to happen that you just wrote down on a piece of paper? And you will realize that most of the things that you're imagining, or at least that you're feeling subconsciously, are completely ridiculous and are not going to happen. Now, step number 4, create low-risk scenarios where you can practice to overcome this step by step. Remember my example from the cold shower? You just do it like 30 seconds at a time, and then you're increasing your comfort zone to a minute, and then a minute and a half. You don't have to do it full-blown. You just create small experiences. It's better to have 10, 30 seconds experiences than to do something like 5 minutes straight. Numbers are more important than total duration. Step number 5. Once you're getting comfortable of expanding your comfort zone, level up. Now, I learned a very interesting concept that's really perfect for the situation. It was created by Jaja, and it's called rejection therapy. And it actually describes you that you should seek out rejections on purpose. Go into a McDonald's and ask if you can get a Big Mac for free. You're getting points. Every time you're getting a rejection, you're getting a point. And your goal will be to get rejected at least 10 times per day. Go to a random stranger and ask them if you could borrow 100 pounds. Think about like all the funny things that you can't ask that you will guarantee hear and know. And you realize actually sometimes you actually get a yes. But more importantly, you realize actually nobody was killing you afterwards. That's the important keystone of this, why this is like actually working. You realize even if you ask for the most ridiculous things, it's actually not, nobody's reacting like angrily. Most of the time, people will just say like no, and then move on and have a good laugh. The last step is what I want you to do is to reframe your reality. Once you have enough practice, you're ready for the next step. And I want you to think about this, visualize this. There's 8 billion people on this planet. And I want you to understand that some of those people, they will like you and some will hate you. And the majority is somewhere in the middle. So there's nothing you can do about it. You can play it safe and walk around, like tread carefully everyone, but it's not going to help you. The majority of people just perceive you as like boring background noise. But if you actually show yourself and you're not afraid of rejecting anyone or being rejected by anyone, but not being afraid of speaking out, you will actually offend some people. But the good part is, now the big chunk of people in the middle suddenly has an opinion about you. And some of them will like you, some of them will dislike you. But the number of people who are really connecting with you will grow because more people see the real you and you're not holding back anything. It's you speaking out about like what is important to you, what you believe in. And this way, you can change your entire world. Expect it, accept it, and embrace it. And your life will become wonderful. So in conclusion, nothing bad can happen to you. Some people will love you, some people will hate you. There is nothing you can do about it. You are yourself. The more you are outspoken, the more you risk being rejected, the more people will, from the middle ground, will decide to either love you or to hate you. Will become polarizing, but you will transform your world for the better. So let me know in the comments, are you afraid of rejections? What was the biggest rejection you are afraid of? Like, how have you learned to overcome it? Did you try my steps? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this.